Hello. It has been a while since you have seen me up front. The reason is because I have had a cold. I've had this cold since Thanksgiving. So before Thanksgiving, I started with this cold and it has lingered, and I'm going on my 4th week with this cold. Yes, I'm getting better. I have been to the doctor, but it is definitely lingering in my body, and I am not a very good sick person. I like to be doing something constantly, some kind of project. So I'm having to take it slow, and again, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at it. Around Thanksgiving, I got accepted into a zine market, and I have not seen any local zine markets physically active since 2019. And 2019 was the last time I was in a zine market. It was actually my very first time, and I really enjoyed it. The zine market was this weekend, and I did not go because I'm sick and I cannot function very well. I just need to rest, which is really unfortunate because I have a lot of zines that I would like to share in person, because 2020 has taught us that yes, we can communicate digitally, but there is something special about physical interacting with other humans. The zine I was particularly interested in showing people is called The Remains. It is a zine that I made in 2020 for my master's. So for my capstone in my master's, I had the topic, or I chose the topic of women's voices in zines, and I wrote a paper about the history of particularly women's voices in zines, and I made my own zine. So what is a zine? A zine is a self-published book or booklet, if you would like to call it. It's self-published in that it's usually handmade and usually hand printed, versus like self-publishing a book where it's just typed and it might be sold through Amazon. I thought I would show you some of my zines that I had prepared for this market. If you're here for some book content, I hope you do stick around. Zines to me are the books that are just never published, and I find them to be very special because they just tell a different type of story than most books do in their raw form, and I think there's something special out there. That being said, if you are a published author, I understand the amount of work that you put into a book is definitely different than the amount of work that goes into a zine, but I think that both share a love for words in a book format in which someone else is going to read and appreciate, hopefully, the words that you've written on the piece of paper. I'm gonna take you upstairs with me and we'll look at some of my zines, and I will bring my tea because I'm already tired. Whoa. Well, hello. We're upstairs now, surrounded by my zines, and I'm trying to get them all together. So here are my first zines I'm going to show you, which are my mini zines. So these are mini zines because they're, first of all, they are tiny and they are made with one piece of paper. You can find tutorials for this online, but essentially it's a piece of paper all on one side. It's folded and then cut in the middle, and it becomes a little booklet with pages. and it's really easy to make. This is a great like lesson for kids, and it's really satisfying because they're really easy to print. You just have to put it on the copy machine or scan one side, and then all of it comes together with some folding and a pair of scissors. No staples needed at all. These are really popular because I sell them for just 25 cents in person, and you can buy 4 for $1. Online, I have them like as a little packet, like, oh, these all come together, because the stamp costs more than one of these. But these are some of my favorite works. I love them because it's got like writing and doodling. I used to make these a lot more. I probably should get back into it. They're really, really fun to make. And you can put a lot of ideas in just one. These are the two, I think, with the most ideas in them. The Perfect Book, which I just write about my feelings of finding the perfect book and what I feel like makes a book good. And then this one, which is my most recent, about women's voices in zines, and I do a quick history of women's mark with zine making. So yeah, those are my mini zines. This is a zine that I made right when we went into lockdown. Yes, I made this right when we went into lockdown. I think I even have a video of like how to make a zine. And this one I used my iPad to draw all the illustrations and do the words, etc. And then I printed it off and put it onto a fancy cover, and this is a block print that I did. And this is just about my Greyhound Mic. I would like to make a second edition of this because Mike is such a funny dog, and I've never had a Greyhound before, and it's my first dog to have as an adult. But my plans with these was to sell them for a bit of a price jump because they are hand bound with this nice paper, and I wanted to just give the money to the Greyhound Association, so I was selling them for about $5 each. So they don't sell very quickly, but I love this little booklet. It reminds me of all the funny things that Mike used to do like 3 or 2 years ago when we first got him, and it's kind of like a little time capsule for him. Another zine that I have is called Dreams, and this one I would say is not a very successful zine for me. It was based off a drawing prompt challenge, and I got this printed at maxam.com. They did a lovely job, and I think I was just being a little too quick with it, and it's okay. I really like my drawings, and it's fun to see them in a book format. I don't think it's my best work. It is about $3 because I did print this through a website, but it is nice to see my work be printed. Now, I probably would never do this. I would print this at home because I understand how zines come together a bit better, and because it is in black and white, I don't think there's anything that's special about it, but I still have it, and I enjoy learning from this little guy. However, this one I did get printed from the same company, Maxam, and I think it was worth it because this is a zine that me and a friend put together. It feels more professional, and some of the money does go to a good cause. This one we only have like a few left, and this was the zine that I made and was really proud of. when I went to my first zine market, and it got a lot of good responses from others. A lot of people wanted to trade with me, and they also wanted to give money to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and I think it was overall well received, and I learned a lot making this, and I grew a lot as an artist and as a zinester, and my friend Sarah was there for me, so it was extra special. So this was a wonderful little zine. It is on the list to be redone, and I don't know exactly how to continue the second edition of this zine. Here is a special little zine that I found. I made this around the time that I got married to my husband, and it's just really special, and I don't sell this one online just because I have an odd number of zines. So this one I sell usually in person as of right now. Here is the zine I am most excited about right now that I made, and the one I was wanting to sell for the first time in person, and it is called The Remains, celebrating the overlooked female artists in art history. My plan is to make more of these zines in the future, and this is what my capstone was for my master's. This is a smaller format. I sometimes print it on tabloid size paper, so it's really big and it's like the size of a piece of paper, but this is my smaller edition, so it's a little cheaper for me to sell, and it's a little bit more accessible for mailing out and sending to other people, and it's easier to hold. So essentially it is a zine about female artists in history that I have heard very little about, or there's little about them in art history textbooks, because I do have my art history textbooks when I was in college, and a lot of these are briefly mentioned for less than a page, but I do think that their work is very important, and I think there's at least one artist in here that someone can connect to. So I have a lot of different types of work, and I try to just highlight different women. Some of them are still alive here in the back, which is pretty awesome. So yes, this I've been wanting to sell in person for a whole year, and I'm still selling it online. If you are interested, I have it on my Etsy. I do plan to make a second volume, but as of right now, I have not gotten very far in doing so. The final zine I have are these per-zines. They are personal zines that I've been doing for the past 6 months. This is October and this is November. And these are done all digitally on 2 pieces of paper. So I'll print them out like so, cut them, fold them, and put them together to make a zine. And like I said, most of these are done online. I do these with Canva, and I really enjoy making these. They're just small essays, usually maybe a book that I am reading, or things that are happening in my garden, and these do end up printed and put into my diary. So it's kind of like a little time capsule of what is happening at a certain time in my life. So like Thanksgiving, my almost yearly sickness. Hooray. I can't talk at all on the day of Thanksgiving. So I write about anything from personal problems like losing my insurance card to TV shows I'm watching and fun things that are just happening in my life. I only have 2 right now. I have a few in my diary. Like this one is August. This one's my first one in July. So I really enjoy making these. I put these out free on my Patreon, and I do sell them for like $1 each on my Etsy account, and I print them off when I see that people want them. And they're often printed a little bit better than this. I just print off the quick version. Thank you for watching and just looking at the zines that I was going to sell this weekend, but just couldn't. I've got all of them right here in a box, and they will wait around until the next opportunity comes. If you are interested in zines and you want to talk about them, please leave a comment below. I love talking about zines, and I can direct you to some really cool sites and help with any zine making problems that you might have. If you are a zinester, nice to meet you. I'd love to trade with you, and anything you see is up for trades except for the Keep Me Strong zine. That's definitely off the table right now, but everything that you saw is up for trades, and I'm always interested in hearing your voice. Thank you for watching. I know this is a bit odd, definitely not what I've been planning my content to be, but I wanted to put something out there for you guys, and zines are a special passion that I feel is a perfect crossover of art and books. I will see you next week, hopefully with some more book related content, hopefully feeling better, hopefully a better voice, because my voice is out. I'm ready to go to take a nap. See you guys later. Don't get sick. Wash your hands, wear a mask. You do not want to have whatever this cold is that I have. It is horrible. Anyways, see you next week. Bye.